We are live. Happy Monday, February 24th. Hi, my name is Wayne Pelletier. I'm going to show you how I planned out an entire year of content. Not entirely how, I'm going to actually show you the table of all the content and explain how I got there. And I have a surprise for you at the end when I'm done with that. But anyway, hi, my name is Wayne Pelletier. Again, I own the Resonant Pixel Company. We help businesses transform their credibility with our credibility playbook. There's a link in the description if you want to learn more about that. Anyway, let me get right into this because I've got a lot to cover and I don't think this video should be an hour long. Anyway, I'm going to share my screen. I've yet to figure out how to share the screen and put my face on it. So let me just change my scene here and explain to you what I've done. So I have this whiteboard in Canva, and I've really been geeking out on whiteboards lately because I feel like as a visual person, they really help me problem solve rapidly and get a lot of ideas down quickly and make it kind of linear. And this, mind you, this is a massive document of my workflow and how the thought process was to land on what categories and topics that I cover in here. But generally, this is the outcome that we're going for. Excuse me. So this is sort of my bucket build out. We've got expertising and evangelizing, which you see lots of people share, especially on a platform like LinkedIn, right? And then we've got other sort of what I'm just calling evergreen content and different types of content that is soft, right? What, like the old saying that if you build a house, only doing marketing and expertising content is like starting with the roof, and without a solid foundation, it's really hard to create a structure. So in general, we've got question content, favorite things, which I'll get into, did you know, some of my struggles, and then this new YouTube channel, I've just added it in my 5130s and 9-word. I'm going to get into that in just a minute. Like I mentioned in previous videos, I have a goal of creating a digital product every single month. And this is literally, we're nearing the end of February. This row is February, and you could see content credit strategy course. I don't think this is going to be a course. Content strategy, we'll call it whiteboard. So the structure of this entire thing looks like this. I've got a bunch of topics that I want to write on or create content for, be it video or LinkedIn posts, YouTube videos, or just talk about here on this live show in this channel. So obviously I talk about my digital products. I want to show my work, which is publishing. Normally that plays better on LinkedIn. And then Squarespace versus WordPress, because we all know I'm a Squarespace designer and we all have to pick sacred cows to kill, and WordPress would be one of mine. Not kill literally, okay? Just be careful with that. And then productization is a superior structure or business model or service model for small businesses than is the traditional agency model. I will die on that hill. And then tools, affiliate links, kind of a hybrid thing. Lots of people do it. I have lots of them, but some of these are just free. Like I don't have an affiliate link for Apple Freeform here, and I'm going to share a link about that in March. So basically, I have all these topics going across the top, and then my rows are the months of the year. That is obvious. And then my process, which I'll show you in a second, every single one of these months sort of has a step in the process as a theme, so that all the content I create maps up into one of the steps in the process of the credibility playbook, or the process of creating a website that my business executes. So whether it's migrating the content phase, would that go in June? Here coming up in March, I'm going to talk about laying out style boards. We make a style board for new clients. It's pretty awesome. And then, celebrate success, which is essentially launching the website. And I like to say the difference between my productized service and what would be traditionally like, oh, my business hired somebody to make me a website, and then I never saw or heard from them again. It's like the launch of a website traditionally is the end or a major milestone, at least. And with my offering, where they consistently have access to me and they can get lots of website updates, as many as they like, those things are really the beginning. So the launch is the start. I don't consider the start of the project or the creation at the beginning, the creation of the website, as the start of the project. That's like just a minor milestone as we get going. The launch is the start of the engagement, not the end. I think about it pretty differently. So anyway, I call it celebrating success. So as we go through here, you can see a lot of this content, this memberships content, hasn't gone out yet. I just talked about this isn't the end, this is the beginning. I should make an entire video about that. Oh, wait, I am. I want to talk about how I use Gusto. I want to talk about how I shot and published video on the How to Review Design, which I literally launched last month as my first digital product. You can see there's going to be a pattern, How to Review Design Workshop. That became a course on my website, WaynePelletier.com. So there's a pattern here in I want to get a thing made, so I share it. So content strategy whiteboard, and in my question column and in some of these other columns, I've got content that asks or feeds into a future product or a future post. And that cycle of feedback, you can ask the market for feedback or ask friends and family or contacts or colleagues or people in a community about a question, turn the answers to the question into content or a digital product, publish it, and then come back and ask people if they want it. It's sort of this circle. And then there's other content in here that's softer, like about how much I play the drums, or some of my favorite books, or where I like to hike, or that I was in the U.S. Army. It's I can rant on QuickBooks. I'm a coffee nerd. So like these posts help build out the picture of who I am and why I do what I do. And then these posts, all this expertising, is a lot of why I do what I do, but it's more actionable and purposeful for the customers or clients, right? And each one of these, like I said, is derivative of my process, which looks a little bit like this. So this is my credibility playbook all laid out. And so you can just have a table, and I like legit have a table up here that is blank that people will be able to fill out. Which right now it just is bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, because you have to go through this entire monster process to figure out what those buckets should be. And then leveling up, get it to the next level would be, hey, chat about your process. Mine is first we define the outcome, then we lay out a style board so that the first thing we're reviewing and interacting with the brand isn't a deliverable that they are invested in either monetarily or emotionally. Like we get the review train running on the tracks, learn a lot about each other, feel each other out. It's almost like warm-up pitches in baseball or some other bad analogy. The next one would be we create all the pages, then we migrate all their content over, then we actually design the site. We test for quality. Well, quality testing covers a lot of ground. That one can get a little technical, but it's probably some of the most important work that we do when we make websites, right? We review the approvals, we launch a site, and then I said, like, we celebrate success. And this document, this entire strategy document, creating your content, is going to be part of my subscriptions now. So when someone subscribes, at Yay, you launched. Now here you go. Here's the structure for creating an entire year of content. Go knock yourself out. You got any questions? You can always ping me, because on the last Tuesday of every month, which I believe is tomorrow, I host a call that all of the clients, although I call them customers, can join to ask questions or get feedback or have conversations about strategy. That way the rising tide can, bring up all boats. Anyway, this is my monster table of content all the way through the year. So I'll see you in November when I talk about the fact that I don't use templates when we design websites. Well, technically, I guess we use a template in that as a circle member, you have access to a blank template. That's my favorite one. We'll also, in December, be talking about 2026 planning. Kind of a layup, right? So my essential plugins in September, like the entire year is laid out. So now March is approaching and I'm already taking this entire row, and creating all the content and setting it up so that I don't have to deal with it and sit here and say, I don't know what I'm going to make today. Like, it's literally all planned out. Now, as a bonus, I'm moving my hands and you can't see them. As a bonus, I said I would talk about 5130 and 9-word emails, because I make a couple of references to those up in here, and they're nothing that I invented. It's something I learned from other people. But essentially, the 5130 is a email concept by Taki Moore, where it's a very short sales email, and it looks a little bit like this. This right here in the top half of this section is basically the structure. It doesn't have to be an email. You could publish this, and I have on social channels, to say, look, I'm looking for 5 people who fit your ideal client or best customer profile, who want the outcome that I promise, and they want the result of my core offer, and in some kind of time frame. This is 30 days. I think the one I wrote was, I'm looking for 5 people who want to increase their credibility and get more website conversions in 45 days. So if you know anyone who is a coach, consultant, teacher, this initiative was to target those specific categories. They're making at least $2,000 a month, or they're struggling with their website or their web designer, not uncommon. They want to grow in the next 45 days. They're friendly and coachable, and they can keep a secret because I'm going to be giving them a price. Then let me know. You can comment, you can DM. When I do this, I don't get very many comments, but I do get DMs. So I want to break this down. And let me show both of these here. All right, so here's the idea. Is you want to target someone very specific. You want to promise a specific outcome and the result from it, right? Like if they want more website conversions, like who doesn't want that? But these bullet points are important. We're actually narrowing the field of who qualifies to make sure that these 5 people fit our ideal client or best customer model. Right, so these create specificity in who can or should respond, so that you're not on calls with people that you probably shouldn't be on calls with. So I was targeting a specific type of customer here, with whether they're freelance or full-time, if they're an instructor, teacher, consultant, coach, whatever, is making at least $2,000 a month from this work. This is important. This means they have a productive business already. This isn't someone who has an idea for a business and has no interest in assigning budget to it that would compensate my company. So it's important that they have this momentum already built up, because we can multiply some momentum with a website. But if they're just getting started, they're not going to want to spend what it costs to invest in one of my subscriptions or in a done with you coaching consultation. If they're struggling with their website or their web designer, look, most businesses are. They got into a really bad website engagement, or they've got a website they literally can't update because it's built in WordPress and they're afraid to touch it or it's too complicated. So that's an easy one, but they want to grow their list of new leads and clients. This is making a promise in the next 45 days. And it's unique because it's really hard to spin up a good website on another platform in a month and start being productive with it. So this is a unique selling proposition, just not nailing it too hard by using it as a qualifier. So, and like I said, if they're friendly and coachable and they can keep a secret, we're going to be sharing pricing in this conversation if they DM me or if they were to leave a comment like I know someone. So I've put this in my emails. I've sent it to my list. I've also shared it on social media, and it does generate some amount of reply and interest at about 100% of the time. Every time I drop one of these emails or social posts, I get DMs or I get replies. And that doesn't mean every single one of those turns into a customer or a client or a lead even, but it does start several good conversations. Maybe some of those return in the future, maybe not. Now I want to move on to the 9-word email. This is by someone named Dean Jackson. And it's interesting. It's just a concept, it doesn't have to be exactly 9 words, but you're basically just saying, I'm getting a certain number of people together to do a certain thing. And it doesn't have to be a number of people. It could be if you are looking to do A, then hit me up. It's a really simple ask. And what's clever here is, unlike the indirect ask, which is written in the 5130, like, I'm open to referrals for a thing. This is like a legit just, look, I'm getting a few ideal client people, best customers together to brainstorm. But it could be anything. I wrote in a recent social post, and I put this in email to my list as well, looking to increase your credibility, get more website conversions in the next 45 days, DM me. This hasn't been 100% successful in generating conversations as the 5130 has, but it has generated a few, and that's pretty awesome. So I've added these to my content mix just because I feel like, and I haven't, as you can see, I haven't written these out yet. I feel like being consistent with these is going to be good for the business. So why not just add them to my content table here so that I am consistent with them? And then they can also follow along thematically with each of the digital products and each of the sections of my process. So I hope this was at least interesting. If you want a copy of this document or access to this document, I haven't decided yet if it's going to be like, hey, download this PDF, or if I'm just going to sell access to this Canva doc, which absolutely could happen. What was that? Oh, template link. Look, I'm going to sell this or sell access to this to you because you sat here in this video ridiculously cheap, probably $17 or something like that. So there's a link to sign up for my email list below. Everyone that signs up for my email list and then emails me after you get the opt-in and you've opted into the list, you'll have my email address. Just forward that email to me or say, hey, I watched your YouTube video and I'll give this thing to you for like $9 or something like that. Just super cheap. And then you'll get to see the whole process, because after that, it'll be for sale for probably double that. So hopefully that is going to be a good way to get you in there and see what this document looks like, and to say thank you for sitting through that entire 20-minute description of the thing. Anyway, I want to talk about AI. My last video, I put a link and I talked a little bit about Get Known, and I'm still really enjoying Get Known a lot. You know what's nice? And I think this is what people are going to fatigue on in 2025 with AI. Trafficking context. These GPTs and custom projects still function in silos, and the broader context of the business and the brand, the products, services, and your content, we're still using those in silos. And the broader context of all of those things included is a really difficult thing for AI to understand when we build these silos and these custom GPTs and projects inside of, I say projects because that's in Claude. That's what I'm enjoying most about Get Known. Get Known is a big lift, but now that I've been in it for a month, maybe just over a month, I'm starting to see how to train it better, and it's been a time saver. So when I'm hitting it to say, hey, give me a description for this video, which I will do as soon as I hit the finish button here in Ecamm Live, it's very quick because it understands context and it's very accurate. And honestly, that's kind of been a game changer, which is pretty cool. So anyway, I'll put that link in here again if you want to check out Get Known. I'd really love to see what you think about it. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment and say, dude, you're high. What are you talking about? Anything is fine by me. I'll take all comers. The other thing I want to hit on is the new segment, Struggle Bus. Not new, but it's been here since the outset. But I don't really have much on the Struggle Bus front. I played a show this weekend on the drums for the celebration of George Harrison, who was in the Beatles, had a great solo career. He was in the Traveling Wilburys in the 1980s, and passed away from lung cancer in 2001. And he's always sort of been the less celebrated Beatle, I feel like. And while I enjoy their catalog, he didn't have a lot of writing credits there. So the bulk of the show, which was 2 hours of music, was his solo work with a few other songs sprinkled in. Of course, you can't skip something, or people love to hear Taxman and some of his most popular songs. I usually come away from that show, and this was the 4th annual show, very energized. But I actually had a bit of a depression yesterday where I felt like I dropped the ball in a couple of places. Mind you, learning 30 songs is a mountain of work, so I forgive myself a great deal there. I had some feedback for some other band members that gave me specific feelings that I was working through, and I thought that's why I was upset, but that wasn't why I was upset. I was upset because to feel disappointed in a show, even though the show was incredible and all the feedback has been super generous, it takes months to build up to that type of thing. So this isn't really even about the show. This is about a launch. This is about a performance. This is about, as a creator, and we're both creators here, right? When you spend months working really hard building up to a thing, and then the thing happens or launches, and then it's a bit of misaligned expectations, I feel like that's on me. I feel like my expectations weren't what they needed to be. And it ties back to, the whole reason I'm bringing it up is it ties back to that content calendar I just shared, that build out, that table is, yeah, that table took me most of a day to get together. But I spent all of 2024 sitting here going, what am I going to write about today on social media? And I don't want to feel that again. So to adjust expectations, I made this massive calendar. I was like, okay, what am I going to share every single month? Well, what do I want to talk about? What are my sacred cows I'm killing? The same thing with the band stuff. We worked really hard for a few months to get ready for this annual show. That is a big show. It's a big opportunity for me to see lots of people that I care about and to help other people celebrate a great catalog of music, right? It's the type of show that's not even about me or the other band members. We're just sort of making the thing so people can enjoy that expression of someone's deep catalog. It's like I want to get out of the way. As like design, good design gets out of the way. Shouldn't even be seen, right? So aligning my expectations, or at least being open to the idea that they might be misaligned, is something that I tried to practice. It reminds me of the book The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, Stoicism thing that I really enjoy. It's interesting to think about my level of upset yesterday, and now I kind of feel, not stupid, but I feel kind of bad about it to myself, for myself, because it's like, I know better. And we all get caught in those traps. So when we're making something big, whether it's a show for a musical performance, or if it's a large, massive content calendar, or if it's a launch of a big project, or whatever, being open to surprise and delight also means we got to be open to disappointment. And sometimes I forget that. If my expectations get too high, then not that I shouldn't aim for the stars, but at least accept the fact that it might not go the way I planned, and think through, well, then how do I deal with that? So that no matter what outcome happens, I can spin it in a positive light and use it as a momentum builder. Like my course that I launched on design reviews hasn't sold very many copies. Perfectly honest with you. I'm kind of disappointed, but I'm not upset about it. I think I set my expectations at like 10 sales, like really low. Would 100 be great? Sure. Didn't touch that. I didn't even hit 10, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Over time, move a couple of those a month, build that community out, continue to improve it, and continue to improve my understanding of the value that it provides. Because I've been told the content is good. I feel like the content is good. But I didn't get disappointed in that launch, that failed launch. Unlike, and I won't with this content calendar, I keep pointing at it, this content calendar thing either, this build out a whole year of content, like I did with this show. So it's a note to just manage myself better. So anyway, if that resonates with you, you can leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. I'm approaching 30 minutes, which is pretty rare with these. Of course, nobody's in here, so it doesn't matter. Building that archive, baby. Building it up. Breadcrumbs. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out that content, year of content. And if you want it, just sign up for my email list. In the next 2 weeks through the beginning of March, everybody does that forwards that email to me, I will send you a half off, like amazing deal on it. It's not even that expensive, but let's just do it. Let's just rock and make an entire year of content. In a future video, I'm going to show all of the steps. I just didn't show them because I'm not done writing them yet. I feel like I understood them, but other people won't. So you got to have copy for context. And that matters that is pretty good before I share it out. So that's really the only thing. So maybe there'll be a phase 2 of this in the next 2 weeks when I'm like, okay, it's ready. Let's launch. No, it's got to happen this week. This week, I'm going to show it to you on Friday. You have that commitment from me. You're getting it on Friday. You're going to see it. So anyway, I hope you have a great week. I'll see you Wednesday. Like, subscribe, follow along. This is a live show. We're going without a net, baby. All right. Have a good one. Bye.